Hello and welcome to Somos Mas, your source for World Cup coverage in this point in time. We got a small house today. Seth had some school stuff going on. He's trying to better himself, going back to school, and had some finals to do. And Earl is MIA, like he has been for the last week or so. So it's just me again tonight. We only got one game to talk about. It was an entertaining game if you're an Argentina fan, not so much if you picked Croatia like me and Seth might have. But nevertheless, I'll break it down a little bit. We'll talk about France, Croatia, or France, Morocco tomorrow. And then we'll get you out of here pretty early, I believe. So 3, Argentina, Croatia, 0. I thought Croatia did well to start the game. They came out. They were kind of passing it around, their own half for a little bit, and then they would make a pass or two to the midfield, and I thought their midfielders did a really good job of feeling the pressure on their back and turning and accelerating past Argentina's midfield to start the match there. And they looked to me like the more likely to score team for the first 20, 30 minutes or so, and then Argentina does what Argentina does, and they found a way to get Messi from the penalty spot because that's kind of where he's lived seemingly all tournament. I know he's had a couple bangers in there, but I feel like of his 5 goals, I think 2 or 3 of them are penalties. I'd have to look that up. They get kind of a break from nothing. Alvarez has one-on-one with the keeper, gets it past the keeper, doesn't score, but gets it past it, gets fouled, and so penalty. Messi comes up, fires it into the top right corner, and Argentina up 2-0. You think, okay, that's fine. I mean, Croatia's come back from a goal down pretty much all tournament seemingly, so you never know. Croatia's been feisty, and you think maybe they got a chance to get in, but then just 5 minutes later, Alvarez himself scores on a really weird. I mean, he dribbles, and then Croatia get a couple feet on it, but just can't quite clear it. And Alvarez stays in front of it, bounces off of him, bounces off a defender, bounces off of him, bounces off the keeper, bounces off of him, and he's able to finish it. A very nice finish. I mean, it's up about thigh high, and he's able to get up, get his laces on it, put it past Likovic, and finish. So at that point, you're like, okay, well, Croatia's fought back. They haven't been down 2 goals, but they fought back before. And Argentina's kind of given up 2 goals. Well, they didn't give one up against Australia, but they almost did, and then they gave it up against Netherlands. And so you're like, maybe Croatia's got a chance. And they came out the second half, fought, and looked okay. But then Alvarez scores another on. So this is where Messi. I got to give Messi props. He's one-on-one with a defender on the right side of the box and just fools him. I mean, just puts him in a blender, gets past him to the touchline, cuts it back. Alvarez is wide open for that third goal, and from then on, it was Argentina's. I mean, Croatia tried, but never really threatened, aside from maybe a half chance here or there, and away we went. I mean, it's a great run for Croatia. I mean, you put this with the 2018 World Cup together. They have 5 group stage or knockout round wins, 4 of which comes on penalties. Then they lose to France in the final last year. But props to them. They just kind of got Messi today, which it happens. It definitely feels like it's Messi's year. I love the Morocco story, but a France with Mbappe versus Argentina with Messi, PSG teammates, feels like they're not always on the same page there, even though they've kind of been running over people in their league right now. Just kind of, just feels like that is kind of where we're headed, and I really would like that. I think it would be the most entertaining game, the best game out of the two possible choices now. Morocco could pull it off, but it just seems like it's lining up for Messi to have to take down Mbappe for this title, and he very well could do it. The team around him, Alvarez has played really good. Emi Martinez, the keeper, has been solid, played really well in that shootout against the Netherlands, and so you never know. But Luka Modric, this is probably the last time we see him. And that guy, today alone, he had like 2 or 3 nutmegs that were just like, what did he just do? And he plays with just such poise there in the midfield, and he's led this Croatia team to a lot of success in the World Cup, especially, and sad to see him go, but I think it sets up the potential for the best remaining matchup, and a matchup that I know a lot of people probably had with France and Argentina if they can get past Morocco. I'll talk about that game a little bit more here in a few, but Argentina came out, and that fan base there that they have in Qatar right now. And I don't know if anybody saw some pictures on Instagram of the streets there in Argentina, and it is just packed with Argentinian fans, and they love that squad. It's probably one of the most soccer crazed nations that I can think of, and kudos to them. And Messi, he's kind of annoyed me this World Cup, if I'm being completely honest. He's kind of been a little crybaby, and I know when you're a star, you kind of get those calls or expect to get those calls, but he's kind of whined a little bit too much for me this particular tournament. But if he gets one, I'm not going to be. If he gets the World Cup, I'm not going to be upset by any means. Meanwhile, we've got Croatia not going home. They're going to the third place match, and we'll see what they can do and who they face, and if they can get a third place and a second place finish in back-to-back World Cups with Luka and company, then I think they can leave this World Cup with their head held high for sure. And so tomorrow we got 12 o'clock Mountain Time. We got France, Morocco. France, of course, getting here, beating England 2-1. Morocco 1-0 over Portugal, and then beating Spain in penalties. France tramps Poland in the first round of 16, and it sets up a really interesting match, really interesting dynamic. Hakimi and Mbappe, they've got a really strong friendship. They'll be facing each other, and then just Morocco in general, the story that they have coming out of being Africa's first semifinalist, and it's exciting. And if they were to go and win, I think it would be a crazy story. I think if they go and beat France and play Argentina and end up losing, it's still going to be a great story. But I think we'll kind of be robbed of a really good soccer match with France and Argentina. So I'm almost always the underdog guy, and I think in this France match I'm actually pulling for France. But Robert over in the chat, Robert, welcome. Sorry to disappoint you that Earl's not here. Earl is doing just fine though, and he will be back at some point. But Robert over here says vamos Morocco, and I don't think out of the 3 teams remaining, even out of the 4 teams, even with Croatia, and I wasn't going to be disappointed in any real matchup, and I wasn't going to be disappointed with anybody if any 4 of them held the cup at the end of it. So I just want good matches from here on out, good exciting soccer, and a deserving champ. So if Morocco can pull that off, then I'm all for it, and I think they can. They play a really sound defensive structure that I think has potential to really frustrate France. They've frustrated everybody they've faced so far. We know that they haven't allowed another team to score a goal. The only goal they gave up was an own goal against Canada, and so it's going to be a tough task for France. Of course, they've got Mbappe and Dembele and Giroud and Grealish, not Grealish. Sorry, wrong one. Oh, why am I drawing a blank? Robert, help me out. Griezmann. There we go. And so they've got the attacking talent to try to break down this Morocco defense, and it's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what Morocco does. We've seen them, kind of play a narrower game where they kind of allow you to get wide, but then they just don't let anything near the box. And then they've also kind of shut down the wide areas and not let you get there if that's what you prefer. And I think France has the ability to kind of hurt you no matter which way they go. So it'll be interesting to see what Morocco decides to take away, at least to start, and we go from there. But I'm really excited for this one. It's really sad to me that there's only 3 matches left in this World Cup. I can't speak for Earl and Seth necessarily, but I know I've had a blast covering it and following it as closely as I have, and I'm excited for the match tomorrow. Like I said, guys, it's going to be a short one. Not a whole lot going on. Got some United news to talk about. They put out some roster updates that we're waiting to see if we get a new player or an announcement on a returning player in the next few days. We might do one Thursday, but if we don't get any more news before Thursday, then we'll do it next week at some point. And it's a great time. Looking forward to the match tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow night about 9:00. Hopefully, Earl and Seth can join me on that one, and we'll break down Morocco-France game, and we'll talk about both the third place and the championship games coming up. I believe those are Saturday for the third place and Sunday for the championship. So we just got 5 more days here basically, and then the World Cup will be over, and we'll go back to we don't cover the Premier League here, but I'll be watching Tottenham and rooting for them, and the Bundesliga will be back, so I'll be rooting for Dortmund there, and we'll see what happens. It's not going to be the same as the World Cup, though. I mean, what are you doing, Bruce? Sorry, the dog was bumping into my leg. The World Cup is special, and that's why it's only once every 4 years, and I can't wait to cover it here in the United States. My wife's sitting over there, so I'm breaking the news to her, but we plan on being at a game or two in 4 years in 2026 somewhere here in the States, and looking forward to that. But it's going to be a long wait between now and then after these matches are over. So if you're not watching, if you're not watching and you're listening to these podcasts, thank you. I think I'm not sure why you're not watching, but watch these last 3 matches. Like I said, tomorrow noon, France and Morocco, and then catch us here at 9:00 to break that down and look forward. And until then, guys, somos unidos.